Are you paparazzi?
Never made? A couple of them.
Okay, do you know where paparazzi came from?
Yeah, I know the whole story.
Good. Then he's a real one. Fellini,
That's right.
my favorite filmmaker.
Me too.
Really?
Favorite in the world. I got to meet him once. I met him and Juliet.
Really?
Yeah, I met him in Cannes with Julieta Messina, and he was getting into an elevator, and he grabbed my cheek and he pinched it and he said, "I like very much your face."
No,
you know, and I was like,
oh, how sweet.
I was dying. I was like, "I love you. I want to work with you." He goes, "Someday I make a movie with you." And the elevator door shut, and it was like it really happened. And I said to everybody, I said, "You see what he said? Did you see what he said? That really happened." You know, it was one of those dream things. I think I was about 28.
Good thing the wheels work, 'cause I could never, the weight in here is outrageous. It might be 120 pounds. So what you got in the suitcase? Lots of tapes, my friend, lots of tapes. Now I will pull them out. They're actually in boxes. I just put 2 boxes, just put the whole boxes right into the suitcase. It's that big. See? And we got Park City. We saw it in the days of its establishing itself as a market. It was only 2 years after, or 1 year maybe, after it declared itself a market, that Redford called it a market.
From the dramatic jury, he's been called the Sultan of Sleaze and the Baron of Bad Taste, but he really prefers the Pope of Trash. Let me introduce John Waters.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Could you go over to John Waters and ask him if he would grant us 2 minutes of an interview for a documentary about film festivals?
Which one?
John Waters, you know the famous film John Waters?
I just walked by.
I was giving out the best movie in the festival. Yeah.
Right.
And I said Sundance was the best film festival in America, which I certainly think it is. It's like This Is Your Life for me. It's grown, it's gotten better, it gets bigger and better, which is hard to do. It's got incredible organization. People come here, they sell their film, and I don't know how you'd make it better. I think it's perfect.
Here's Tribeca 2003. Yeah, the one that says Tribeca first tape. It's also the last tape. So here we are, Tribeca. Nice weather. This is your best, absolute best light to shoot DV. It's got a richness to it that is smooth, and it hides the flaws and the over contrast that comes from DV. When you transfer this to film, it can almost look like film. All right. This should be a little bit of bedlam there. I was getting shoved around that day by the paparazzi because if Robin Williams comes to a red carpet, it must be a big one. He was good. He was on. He was just like going at it. He was giving the paparazzi more than they could handle.
Sounds like an evening in the village. But no, you have a wonderful time.
Yes, you're a great man, Robert.
Thank you, sir. God.
Exciting individual.
Thank you. There's another one coming down this way right now.
Hey, you can jump right in front of me. I don't need the shot. Go.
Nolan, not Nola. See, Nola Gay and Christopher Nolan.
Thank you, Robert.
You were great last night, Robert.
It was a wild night, Bob.
Incredible. It was beautiful, wasn't it?
It's so beautiful down there. Good to see that many people coming back down to Tribeca. It was a good evening. And just the music, plus those giant balls, you know, the Barbra Streisand lighting. It was so good.
What'd you think of the music?
Oh, it was wonderful. God, Bowie kicked, Wyclef Jean, you know, it's all of a sudden when the whole room is just like, everybody! They're just moving, and then they started playing different plays. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
Oh, that's
Are you
sweet.
still
Look
to
at
yourself?
that.
Thank you. You hold on to that so we don't lose it. I'm not ditching it. I'm not going, hey, great, thanks. Thanks.
Is New York the capital indie film?
I think it has a good start on that, yeah. But there's a lot of people in LA, and I live in San Francisco. There's a lot of independent people there. They're also making codependent productions for people in AA. So thank you.
Well, when I started this film, I wanted a big lens on my camera. I got a 14:1 zoom, and I can shoot from a long way off.
What I'm saying is, there are these moments when the world changes. There was Tribeca, there was 2001, there was the meltdown of Silicon Valley.
Senor Whipple.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
All right, how are you?
Good. All right, listen, I gotta jump. I gotta try and figure out what's going on here. These people are handling me over.
Do you want to hold this for a second?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's used to holding mics. George, can I ask you a serious question?
Oh.
Yes.
What do you think this year about the energy of Tribeca?
We gotta remember that right behind us, the World Trade Towers collapsed here in New York City. And De Niro, who lives 3 blocks from here to the north, was in this neighborhood. And he asked me as a TV reporter to come down and have dinner in Lower Manhattan because the economy was destroyed down here. And the night I came down, he looked at me in an interview and the tears welled up in his eyes. And he said, George, they attacked my country, they attacked my neighborhood, and I'm going to do something about it. And he started by bringing people down to eat at the restaurants, and he would go around, I'm talking 20, 30, 50 people, and he would say hello to each of these people. And I think this was the impetus for the Tribeca Film Festival. And from that, he has developed this extraordinary event, a world-class event, to bring people to Lower Manhattan and to rescue this neighborhood that was in economic distress, spiritual distress, every kind of distress you can imagine after the largest terrorist attack in the history of the world.
Scott Bear, what are you filming?
I think I was filming you then. Is that you're still in Nora, right?
Shooting camera. One of the coolest things in terms of the shooting, the most charming aspect of the whole thing, especially when you're underpaid, where you're actually losing money while you're doing it, is when you get an amazing face to shoot.
Rush, I feel like working with such a young cast.
Well, it's very hard to work with a cast of my own age, so it's better to work with a young guy.
James Olmos, amazing face.
The Latino International Film Festival in Los Angeles, like the one here in San Jose, and the one in San Francisco, and the one in San Diego, and the one in Chicago, and the one in New York, and the one in Florida, really try to bring about an understanding of the incredible cinema that's being done in the Latin American world today.
Rutger Hauer, amazing face.
I'm really interested in that sort of filmmaking. I'm interested in filmmaking from the hip rather than from the brain. You can think about it before, but when you get to it, then you have to go instinctively. You have to shoot, and you have to do it fast. Not because of the money only, but because if it gets too, the word is precious, all this stuff that we have on the screen, everybody's dick is hanging out all the time. And I have nothing against dick, but I want to see it move, I want to,
What is independent to you?
Independent is sort of like a certain amount of freedom, let's put it that way. A certain amount of freedom.
But these Tribeca red carpets are classic red carpets, in that the carpet is pretty much red. They have good, hard, solid steel barricades. Even better than the ones they use in Times Square on New Year's Eve, I would say.
But we have some good stuff for Rosie on a panel. She waved to us. Stopped and really again. In slow motion, it looked really good. I wanted to let her know I was going to make her a copy of the tape that I shot of her 3 years before, and that eventually she'd get it. If ever I got to it, I guess.
Hi, wait, you've been in the film once before, and I have to get you a copy of the tape from Urban World. Remember that one when you did the panel? Good seeing you. Melvin, how are you?
I'm hanging in. How you doing?
All right.
I think that there's about 200 pretty good filmmakers out there that we're not going to be sure who the real auteurs are for a little while.
It has been a struggle, and I don't like to fall into the mode of complaining about how hard it is for women to break into the so-called boys' world of independent film, but it really is hard, and it sucks, and it's unfair, but that hasn't stopped me so far, and it won't, so that's all I can say.
So you kind of like the idea that there was an auteur theory and some of it is of use?
Sure, auteur. I said control freak, but auteur is nice.
Yeah.
So here we are in the center of independent film, and we never know where you'll see a scene being shot.
Well, let me talk to you about that scene.
So the update is we just interviewed Godfrey Chester, and that was an honor.
I moved to New York and began writing for New York Press in 1991. And in some ways that was a very fortuitous time because I felt like I came in with really the first wave of the independent film boom that happened in the 90s. And there was so much interest in the subject then in downtown New York among cinephiles, among students, among people who just read the press and the Voice, and also among aspiring filmmakers and actors and such, that it was a real exciting time to be there and to be involved in shaping that dialogue. And then also to partake in it in a certain way in becoming an independent filmmaker myself. When we submitted to Sundance at the end of October 2006, we got turned down by Sundance, but I think it maybe have been the best thing that happened to the film in that we really needed more editing. And it would have been a shame in a way if that earlier cut had gotten into Sundance, because it would have kept us from reaching that final point that the film needed.
Well, like Godfrey said in the last interview, I'm now in the hands of the editors. Right now we just pray that the editor executes both timely and within the vision he's told us about. If he actually delivers what he can deliver, then we're in pretty good shape.